Hi everyone, Luke here and what a terrible year. Back in January we all thought this year was going to suck due to Trump nearly starting World War III, but instead we had to put up with this virus pandemic that put the whole planet on full lockdown. We thought it won't affect us much like the swine flu or something, but we were dead wrong. All because some guy ate an infected bat. The area I live in is in tier 4 or 5 or, I don't know, I lost count. It resulted in me being in furlough off work for over half a year, and I really miss meeting up with my friends and other family members. But I did manage to get through it. We all did. In our entire lives, we never thought this sort of thing would ever happen, and I did manage to get by in my 6 months of isolation. I put out quite a few videos, like that top 7 games I would like to see get remade, and that Q&A video. I even brought back Surviving the Supernatural, which was based on a script from 2012 that never got finished due to problems during editing. It even encouraged me to make some blog videos. I also commissioned from AEW to make these icons which were for Melting Man 234's Give Me Chaos Theories series, and I decided to use my ones for my videos. I was even considering using them to parody Ransonas. You know, the ones with their arms folding and giving out opinions in a condescending manner. I might do more in the future. I also kept myself occupied doing painting work in the garden. Here's the garden shed I repainted. I suppose I could give out a few highlights of this year, like back in February pre-virus, I went with a few friends to see the live-action Sonic movie. We thought it was going to be like every other video game movie adaptation, but it turns out to be actually pretty good. I think it would have flopped if they stuck with how Sonic looked in the first trailer, where he looked absolutely horrifying. So I'm glad they changed him, and I like how they made this Sonic really likeable and put him in this alien buddy movie plot that we have seen hundreds of times, but I did like the relationship between Sonic and Tom. Jim Carrey as Robotnik was also great, as it was like watching his performances back in the 90s, and it's great to see him as one of my fave video game villains, and how he goes from an evil Ace Ventura to the fat mad scientist we all know. I am looking forward to the sequel, and I'm hoping it would expand Sonic's cinematic universe. Sonic may have lost against Mario in the 90s console war, but he had a better live-action movie than Mario's cyberpunk adventure. We even had a dissected review about it, which was a lot of fun. I even got to wear a dress. Another highlight in February was going to see the metal band Rhapsody of Fire play live at a venue in London. I always wanted to go see a live metal band performance, apart from seeing Crush 40 at Summer of Sonic, and I'm glad I did. They were a band I used to listen to in college, and it was really fun. I'm hoping one day to see bands like Encephalum, Ailstorm and Sabaton play live, as long as it's in London, as I don't really want to go all the way to like Germany or something to see them perform, but there are metal fans who do go the extra mile to do that. Going back to movies, I only ever saw one other movie in the cinemas, which was The New Mutants, which is the last ever X-Men movie made by Fox before they were bought out by Disney. It was alright. Basically X-Men in a teen horror movie. There weren't really a lot of movies I wanted to see this year. We had no MCU movies or Star Wars movies, and I feel we do need a break from them. I'm not really that interested in Black Widow, but I did want to watch the Wonder Woman sequel, the new Bill and Ted movie, and maybe the new Borat movie. There's also that weird movie where Harry Potter becomes a gun-wielding maniac, and we're supposed to be getting a new Ghostbusters movie that's actually set in the same universe as the 80s Ghostbusters movies. And it kind of has that Stranger Things feel to it, with kids driving the Ecto-1 and fighting ghosts. I'm sad it got delayed, but I'm hoping it'll come out eventually. We also have been watching a lot of Netflix shows this year too, like the Dark Crystal series, Lost in Space, Stranger Things, Curse, which is a retelling of the King Arthur legend from the perspective of Nimue, with the guy who plays Floki in Vikings as Merlin, High Score, The Toys That Made Us, and Black Mirror, which has some interesting episodes involving technology. But did they really have to put so many awkward sex scenes in it? I'm currently watching Once Upon a Time on it, which involves fairy tale characters in a modern world setting. They even have characters from Frozen and Brave, and I was like, Why wasn't this the plotline to Frozen 2? Video game wise, I played the 360 version of Sonic Unleashed, which I talked about in my pre-lockdown blog video back in March. It was alright, but the Dark Gaia fight was really annoying, as I had to play a bloody whack-a-mole game, whilst on the Wii version, you get to fight him as Light Guy in a Rock'em Sock'em Robots game. Maybe I should consider getting the Wii version at some point. But during my furlough, I really enjoyed playing Doom Eternal, where you travel between Earth, Hell, and the homeworld of the Sentinels, which looks like Asgard slaughtering demons. There is more of a strategy to it, as you have to farm for resources as well as taking on tough as bollocks demons. The Marauder demons are pretty much the Slayer what Dark Link is to Link in Ocarina of Time. I also like exploring the Slayer's space fortress, listening to music, collecting toys, and playing the original Doom games on his old PC. Another game I played during furlough was the Xenoblade Chronicles remake, where they made the characters look anime-like, and it's a really enjoyable JRPG, especially how it has a full UK accent cast. I didn't know it had actors from Doctor Who and Peppa Pig. I also like how the overworld is set on a massive titan. The plotline's pretty good, and I now have a favourite villain which I can't spoil. I did enjoy trying to rebuild Colony 6 and helping the townsfolk, but finding certain items to fill out the Collectopedia or fulfill certain quests was mind-numbingly annoying. Same with trying to build up the friendship levels so I could see all the heart-to-heart conversations. It also had a new expansion which wasn't in the Wii or 3DS versions, which ties up the storyline of a certain character. I did find the Pond Spectres rather adorable. The DLC for Smash Bros. Ultimate this year weren't too bad. Didn't give a shit about Byleth or Minecraft Steve. Did like Min Min from ARMS, and I was hoping that we'd get Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, as we never got a villain rep in the Fighters Pass so far, and it was weird that Cloud never got any additional music tracks or Final Fantasy related spirits in the base game. He's also pretty OP. I didn't really go anywhere much due to the lockdowns, but I had some occasional walks down my local seafront and had a few outings at Colchester Zoo and Stratford upon Avon, where William Shakespeare was born. We also had explosions, riots, and America's now got a new president. I'd rather have a new prime minister myself. Also, we had a lot of famous deaths like Kobe Bryant, Tim Brooke Taylor, Ian Holm, David Prowse, Dame Diana Rigg, Sean Connery, Chadwick Boseman, Diego Maradona, and the Cockney Queen of Showbiz, Barbara Windsor. I also had a good amount of voiceover gigs this year. I got to voice Robotnik in Roger's Sonic movie parody where I tried to do my best Jim Carrey impersonation, which I really enjoyed. I also got to be in a parody of Spyro 2 and Rayman 2, and I got to voice Sully in a Monsters Inc. reanimated segment. I even got involved in a few video games like a level pack that Roger made for Sonic Robo Blast 2 called Sol Sustancia. And there's the announcement I made where I'll be voicing the character Wing in Glide the Dragon, which is coming along nicely, so be sure to support the game and Valafor Productions. Well, that's all I can think of really. It hasn't been an exciting year for me. I guess it hasn't been an exciting year for anyone how it kept us all apart from each other. Some might have had a more lucky experience than me, but I managed to get by. I have kept in touch with family and friends like online or over the phone. Things will get back to normal eventually, and hopefully soon we'll see each other again. I want to read a page here from The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, When the Aliens Are All Dead. And as I looked at this wide expanse of houses and factories and churches, silent and abandoned, as I thought of the multitudinous hopes and efforts, the innumerable hosts of lives that have gone to build this human reef, and of the swift and ruthless destruction that had hung over it all, when I realized that the shadow had been rolled back, and that men might still live in the streets, and this dear vast dead city of mine be once more alive and powerful, I felt a wave of emotion that was near akin to tears. The torment was over. Even that day the healing would begin. The survivors of the people scattered over the country, leaderless, lawless, foodless, like sheep without a shepherd, the thousands who had fled by sea would begin to return. The pulse of life, growing stronger and stronger, would beat again in the empty streets and pour across the vacant squares. Whatever destruction was done, the hand of the destroyer was stayed. All the gaunt wrecks, the blackened skeletons of houses that stared so dismally at the sunlit grass of the hill, would presently be echoing with the hammers of the restorers and ringing with the tapping of their trowels. At the thought, I extended my hands towards the sky and began thanking God. In a year, thought I, in a year. From me, Luke the Fox, to my friends and family who supported me over the years, and especially this year, I want to wish a happy Christmas, and I hope we have a good new year. A better new year. Now I'm going to drink until I forget my own name. Or until I'm dead. Whatever. Fuck you, 2020.